Millionaires of Reddit, how did you do it? I'm always interested in entrepreneurship and investing. I did it through, thankfully, having a good job, e-commerce, and investing in stocks. Most of my friends are in the same circles, so I'm kind of curious about others. Learned HTML/CSS/JavaScript at 14 as a passion. I just loved making nice websites. By 19, I was making someone else a lot of money, e-commerce, whilst being paid minimum wage £5 per hour, which planted the seed of confidence. Got sacked at 20. Worked some terrible, soul-destroying bar jobs. Age 21, started working on my own thing, e-commerce business, from my parents' back bedroom with £200, 24 now fully self-employed, 26 flew to China to have product made. Some bumps in the road and burnout. Learning to manage staff and stress, addiction issues, relationship breakdowns, was difficult at times. 10 years later, age 36, here I am. In short, complete and utter dedication to my craft, always reinvesting back into the business. I've never had a salaried job. Giving up was not an option. Best of luck. I started a business that had 2 customers, tiny in size but enough for me to just about live on carefully. Sold that co. after a year to fund a deposit for a larger business with a business partner. Continued to grow that business over some years whilst making a few small acquisitions on the way, using financing and having the main business fund the deposit. Rinse and repeat on an upward scale to get to today. You don't need some fancy degree or IT skills. Mine came from blue-collar work and continues to be in the physical labor world. I made millions 3 diff ways: crypto, online business, real estate, all entirely unrelated. I started dirt poor. I was heating my apartment by putting a brick on my stove and radiating heat. I lost half my clothing to mold. I lived in the cheapest filth imaginable to get by. Went to university in Canada. Graduated without debt, by the way, by working 80 hours a week before university, working 2 jobs during university, and sleeping little. And got a white-collar profession. Did this to stabilize my finances. While doing this full-time, I hustled for free, full-time, on my online business. This took years. I sold an online website for $30,000. I spent years on this website making $20 a day, and someone saw an opportunity with it that I did not see, and I sold it to them. Likely could have gotten more. Anyway, I got a house as soon as I could possibly qualify for a mortgage. This was years ahead of anyone my age at that time. I used that $30,000 to build a basement apartment. Now, I had a healthy cash flow after my day job. Using these savings, I bought crypto and simultaneously worked for free for the guy that bought my website to learn from his methods. I didn't sell my crypto for many years, completely skipping that bull run in 2017. In any case, during this time, learning what I did from that buyer, I made my own company. I reinvested 100% of the money from the company into the company. I never took anything out. Gradually, it became large enough that I could quit my day job. Then, I bought another house. Then, I sold my crypto. Then, I invested all of my crypto earnings into a high-yield investment so I can live off investments. Then, I bought more houses by refinancing. Let the bank pay for the new ones. Now, my company yields more per year than my crypto dump did that one time, and I don't use any of it for living expenses. You know, typing it all out, this was fucking backbreaking, and I don't know how I did it. I was in recruitment, which I didn't like, so started a recruitment process outsourcing company. Essentially, we charged a flat fee to a company's recruitment. Hired my first employee who was absolutely incredible and got lucky with timing. So I had a customer lined up when I gave up my job, which was unfortunately Lehman's. It blew up, but there was an incredible piece of luck where I won a tech company. And I grew it from there. Don't underestimate the power of luck. It was just ridiculous. Made $1 million, but unfortunately, my wife decided to divorce me, so had to give her a ton of money. Especially because she'd racked up six-figure debts, and English law at the time meant I had to pay them off. And the divorce ate a load of time and money because halfway through, she decided she wanted me back and got angry when I didn't feel the same way. Had to wind up the company and get a job. Now I have a video production agency and grinding my way back again. I'll be back. Came from a family of entrepreneurs. I had a scholarship to college, but knew it would never provide for me. Had no money, but did the minimum effort needed and started my own business at 21, right after I got married. So glad we never had any student debt. Very little help from parents as they didn't have much means either, but I put in the work to make this all happen. Worked this small service business and was successful in 2 years. Started to get really successful in year 3 and quit my full-time job, July 2008. Housing crash made my service business less desirable, so I started a very small e-commerce site. Made about $10,000 in the first 60 days selling an education product I made, and that was my first taste into making money while I sleep. I knew my service business would never compare, so e-commerce was on my mind. Kept grinding at the service business and was doing very well, but also did other education products and e-commerce stuff for another 4 to 5 years. All the time I was looking for that next business I could scale via e-commerce. I identified a pain point I experienced in my service business as the technician that other technicians also experienced. Had a brilliant idea. Studied patents and all that jazz. Designed a physical product, filed for a patent, and invested about $8,000 to make the first manufacturable version of the product. Made a video, designed the packaging, and pitched the product on Kickstarter. It took off like a rocket. I was collecting more sales at the close of Kickstarter. 4 months later, I successfully fulfilled to all my backers and was starting to scale. Designed more products to continue expanding the product set. Grew with global distribution partners and Amazon. It's been about 10 years since first Kickstarter and have done about $25 million in revenue since then. I have 4 utility patents, dozens of trademarks, and ship my products all over the world. Profitability is very high, so I have done very well. I still own 100% and never needed any debt to scale. Now I have more net worth outside of the business, a few million, than what the business has on the books, about $2 million. But I know what the value is on the market and am always looking at growing company value long term. I made it a priority to take money off the table responsibly in year 4 and have been consistent with it, hence the greater net worth outside of the business, which is mostly in real estate now. I have run the business from the start to build a sellable asset and may consider selling in the next 18 months. I have a new consumer goods business in a much broader market, and I think I can scale it to $100 million in value without any outside capital. So I have something pulling me towards a new future. I turn 40 next year, and when I was 24, right after starting my first e-commerce business, I set a personal goal to have the means to retire by the time I was 40. I say this as this is actually a massive reason when I am where I am today. Having one big freaking goal that seems impossible, because if you put in the work, you'll accomplish it and then some. Got $300,000 from 2 different inheritances and $60,000 separation bonus from the military. Married a wonderful woman, but she had been manipulated by financial planners into putting her money into CDs and government bonds. Got all this nonsense straightened out and invested in more age-appropriate assets. Kept working, saving, and investing for a few years. Made the mistake of hiring a financial manager to run our investments. Non-real estate investments hit $1 million at the peak of 2021, but the financial manager did some absolutely idiotic trades as the market tanked. So I fired them and started options trading myself. Got laid off, but I make more options trading than at my old job. My worst months, I only make $2,000 or $3,000 trading. I've been able to consistently make $4,000 to $6,000 per month, and my best month was almost $17,000. I at least have the financial manager to thank for getting me a portfolio of stocks that's perfect for options trading. I'm digging out of the hole they in the Federal Reserve created and should get back to the $1 million mark in 6 to 9 months.